Hey there, everyone. I'm the host of Expat podcast, Marco Couvet, and this is a short clip extracted from a longer interview that I did with Pamela Zanelle, South African who moved to Switzerland, and how she dealt with mental health during this transition to a new life.
And we all come together, and there was this South African family, also white, and they came with their two daughters. So we were just dishing out the food that we had brought with us, but we were all sitting together, in one place at the same spot. And we dished up for them, the food that we had. And we actually had a discussion with the parents later that, it's so heartwarming because we can do these things without feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to ask the parents first if they want the food or whatever. And then the parents going to give me a whole story or look at me with crazy eyes like, why are you trying to give my child your food? So that sense of community, I feel, is lacking. I see a lot of loners and people are just like, they have walls around them, which I find pretty sad. Yeah.
How the North societies are a little bit more reclusive. If it's okay for you, because we are nearly 1 hour talking already, we can jump to the second part of the episode, I would say. I know you have German afterwards, so I don't want to keep you very long either.
Yeah.
The Expert, Mental Health as an Expat.
So we talk a little bit in the interview or in the intro. You have talked through your channels also about mental health, a little bit of like the whole part of the depression, anxiety, and everything that comes with mental health issues. And I think a lot of people who has been an expat or have moved abroad had this moment at some point, and especially all of those people who needs to pass through a visa process. I also recognize that everyone who needs to pass through a much more complex bureaucracy, this is exponentially skyrocketing. Where does the whole idea, I mean, I really love that there is people talking about it. It's not an easy topic to talk in front of a camera a lot of times. I think we all pass through it in a way or another. Where does it come from? I know you had at some point problems probably, and then just you thought that it was a good idea, maybe this whole part of the community, not to take it out and help other people. Was it coming from that?
So I feel before I moved to Switzerland, I already kind of self-diagnosed that, okay, I have anxiety, I have depression, in some parts. And there've been points where I felt like I would be better off not alive before even moving to Switzerland. But I had the whole holistic approach, so I never sought professional help then. So it was just something that I knew I had an issue with. So I would just take, like lavender or whatever, just calm myself or meditate, do yoga and things like that. After having a child, I kind of had postpartum depression, and that's why my husband thought it would be best if he sent me and my daughter to South Africa for a couple of months, like 2 months, just so I can be around family, because he was working a lot during that time. And then again, when I started working and I was working in an international environment, like international, multicultural. And I loved my job. It was not something in my line of experience, but it was just something that I felt it would be nice, because my daughter just started going to daycare. My husband is working. They have their own lives going on. So it would be nice if I built my own community. And that is the attitude I went into that with. Unfortunately, it ended up becoming a very toxic environment.
Okay.
And after a year of working there, I had a panic attack. When the thought of going to work drains you.
Collapse.
Like you are not looking forward to it. It's just like it drains you. And I ended up having a panic attack, and I was written off sick. And after that, we made a decision that I'm going to go, my own way, because I had raised certain issues. I had raised the issues, like it was mobbing and bullying. It was, racism, like let's call it what it is.
Okay.
It was also racism and just them making me feel less than. And it triggered so many things, from the past and where I already was mentally. So it triggered so many things, which led me to having the biggest panic attack I had ever had. And that's when I was like, okay, I need to take my mental health seriously. Like, I need professional help because I need to deal with this. It was so bad because it affects everything. It can be a work issue, but it affects everything. And it affects the marriage, it affects you as a parent and everything. You just cannot cope. And you're in this foreign country. So everything just comes falling together, because the reality is that if you don't find a community as an expat or as an immigrant in a new country, especially countries that are not like these Western European, maybe, but I'm not going to minimize it to just that. When you move to a different country, it takes a toll on your mental health, because
100%.
you don't have that community anymore that you used to have back at home. There's certain norms and standards that you have back home that are not here. And I feel like that is when I started feeling really like maybe my issues are not being heard because of the way I look, she's strong, because there's always this Black women are strong, thing. And even when I went to my medical doctor, it took a while for him to take the matter seriously. And actually, I had to ask him to refer me to a psychologist, a psychiatrist, because he was just like, no, just, I'm just going to write you off and take a break, take all the time you need, start looking for another job. And I just felt like, I don't think I'm in a position to be looking for something else. I need healing. I need help. So that is where I felt like I was failed in a way by the system because I had raised these issues time and time again with my superiors at work and nothing was done. And I think that's what made me even more frustrated. And, instead of being vengeful, because it got to a point where lawyers approached me and said, you have a strong case, right?
If you liked this short video out of the full episode, you can find the link to it around here and in the description below. Of course, if you are also interested in checking out other episodes, please subscribe and like.